We get so caught up in trying to live this perfect life that we start to look at the people around us and put them on a scale. Is this person better than me or worse than me? We care so much about appearances that we lose focus of what's actually going on and what actually matters. And we don't even know why we're doing it. We start to lose the joy we had when we were a kid. But not because our life is infinitely more stressful or harder, but because we never take a step back to actually appreciate what we have. This is why we all need to take a step back and smell the roses. We need to become the main characters of our lives. So, what does being the main character actually mean? This doesn't mean that you should try to act like you're better than everybody, but for me, what it means is two specific things. Number one is to stop and enjoy the little things in life. For me, when I think about what it is to be a main character, I think of films where it's not some big storyline, it's a very realistic thing that could happen to either me or you. Not movies like the Avengers, where obviously we can't relate to what's going on. Example of stopping to enjoy the little things in life and being a main character is in the movie Licorice Pizza. Now this movie is based on two main characters, Gary and Alana, and they have very different personalities. Gary is a very happy-go-lucky type of person who seems to appreciate everything he has, even though he doesn't have everything he wants. And Gary is the type of person who wants to be a showman. He feels in his heart that that's his calling and that's what he's going to achieve. And he does different odd jobs in order to try to get to where he wants to be. Now, Alana, on the other hand, is kind of a little bit more disgruntled with her life, isn't where she wants to be, and doesn't really appreciate what she has and what her life is. She's looking to change her life, but is not living in the present moment and not appreciative of what she does have. Now, as the movie progresses, we see Gary start to work different jobs, and he always brings Alana into it, and a lot of the times it just doesn't work out. Now, the movie is a bit disjointed, and there's no clear storylines, and storylines end and begin at different places, but it's really indicative of life. You know, things just kind of happen, and life comes and goes as it pleases. But one thing that Gary always seems to have is the fact that, one, he's always joyful, he's always positive, and he always believes in his goals. He always believes that he will become a showman, and he keeps persisting even if things fail. To me, this is a great example of what it is to be a main character. Gary seems to be very appreciative of his life and very appreciative of even the smallest things. Later on in the movie, you see Elena start to become more like Gary, where she's just is embracing that philosophy of being appreciative of things or living in the moment, something that she didn't have in the beginning of the movie. Just like the main character in these type of movies, this is something that everybody can do. When becoming the main character of your own life, you can start to romanticize more and more small things, which will allow you to really appreciate what's going on. The fact that they're even able to do this puts you in a very privileged position that many people wish that they were in. Being able to wake up healthy with a roof over your head is something that a lot of people in the world might not even have. So romanticizing and feeling like you're the main character, even with these small things that you do, it'll allow you to really show gratitude and appreciate what you do have. For example, something as small as getting a morning coffee. The fact that you could afford that, the fact that you could be there, you're healthy, and you can just sit down, take a few moments and enjoy that moment is something that you should be very appreciative for. This is something that I've definitely had to work on, like being this main character where I'm very appreciative and romanticizing the small things in life, because over the past few years, I've had a lot of cool opportunities to travel the world, meet new people, try new things, do a lot of cool stuff, but there's a lot of times where I feel that I'm still not where I want to be. So that's always at the back of my mind, like, okay, I'm having fun, I'm having these cool experiences, but I'm not as appreciative of it because I still want to get to this other place. So that's more the focus, like what I don't have. Only looking at the negative and looking at what I haven't done will not help me get to where I want to be. But actually taking moments of gratitude and realizing that my life is actually pretty good, that I have done a lot of things, I have a lot of people that around me that care about me, and having that positive attitude and appreciating and having gratitude will help me be in a much better space to actually achieve and work towards the larger goals. I think the number two thing about being a main character in life is living in the moment. And I think this is something that we can all implement as main characters in life. Obviously, it's good to have some sort of plan for what the future holds, of course, but focusing so much on the future will only deter you from making success and progress in the present. Like I said, I've been someone who traveled a lot over the last few years, and I've noticed that a lot of times when I'm on travel, I've had to catch myself not being in the present moment, not being attentive to the people around me and the people I'm with, because I'm thinking about things that are not relevant to what's happening in the present moment. I'm thinking about, oh, what am I going to do once I get home? What am I going to do about this thing or that thing? And so focused on things outside of my control that are down the line, that I'm not focused on the present moment and not enjoying the quality time I'm spending with people around me. But when you start to live in the present moment and live for the present rather than the future, you start to get experiences that you would never got before. For example, when I was in Guatemala recently, I remember somebody asked me to go on a hike at 3 a.m. It was an early morning sunrise hike. I was at the moment skeptical or didn't want to do it because I was already thinking about, well, if I do this hike, then I'm going to be late and I'm going to be tired, and when I go to the next place, I'm going to be more tired, this and that. I was thinking so far in the future that I didn't even think about the present, which was going on this hike. But I decided to put all that aside and actually go on this hike. And I'm so glad I did, because the views at the top were amazing, obviously. But at the top of the mountain, I actually met other people who were from the same city I was from back home in the US. I met these people that were so cool that I would have never met if I was thinking so far in the future, so far ahead, that I wasn't living in the present moment. But since I made that decision to just, okay, I'm not going to worry about how I'm going to get to this next place. Let me worry about this hike. And this seems like a really cool thing to do. I was able to really meet other people who were super cool and I've met and now can call my friend. What this means as far as living as a main character, I feel like main characters in a lot of these like indie A24 type films, they're very much living in the present moment. They're not thinking about, you know, what's happening in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. And like I said, it's not bad to think for the future, right? You shouldn't take this advice as, hey, I'm gonna blow all my life savings because who knows what's gonna happen tomorrow. No, of course not. But I think it's good to have that kind of main character mentality where, yeah, things will happen in the future and I'll deal with those things when they arise, and let me worry about what's happening in the present moment. This is something I've definitely had to always just be very, very mindful of, because in my life I love to think about the future and, okay, if this happens and this, I'm gonna do this, and this. But if it doesn't happen, I'm gonna do this, and this. And if this doesn't happen, this, and this. And I've realized, like, as I travel so much, that a lot of this future planning never actually comes to fruition because things can change in a heartbeat. And this real skill and the real key that has helped me in life is being able to be adaptable. And, you know, being in the present moment allows you to have build this skill of adaptability where, okay, as things happen, that you're able to react and make changes and move accordingly. So next time you get a chance, try romanticizing your life and becoming the main character. Enjoy the small things in life. The sun shining, drinking a coffee outside or at a cool coffee store, listening to the sounds of nature, living in the moment, saying yes to a 3 a.m. hike in Guatemala, or hitchhiking with strangers, or doing a solo trip because your friends didn't want to go. Because when you start living your life like a main character, you will become the main character of your life.